Good evening, everyone. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mickey's not here, right? The Reverend,
Yes,
Maybe
I'm Pastor Christine from the Methodist Church, and it's my turn this month, so I'm pretty lucky. Let us pray. Good and gracious Creator, we have gathered here to serve this community, to care for the events and the situations that we must address. God, we ask that the Holy Spirit be amongst everyone so that it is a peaceful time of conversation and accomplishment. And may, at the end of this meeting, we all travel home safe once more to our homes. May peace be all around us. In the name of our Creator, we say amen.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Guess we'll get started. Okay, what's that? Okay. First thing is to have public input. If anyone would like to have the time to say something on the floor, please raise your hand. Let us know your name and your address, and we'll give you time to speak.
Hello everyone, my name is Christian Vitek. Address is 1202 State Highway 206. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm a proud gay man who has been a part of Walton for my entire life. To begin, I would like to share that I am so grateful to be standing before you tonight in our beautiful village, a village that prides itself on building and uplifting community. And tonight I'm here to ensure that everyone is included and affirmed in our community. I'm here tonight to formally request that the Village of Walton recognize the month of June as Pride Month. For those of you unaware, the month of June is celebrated in our community and throughout our country in commemoration of the LGBTQ+ rights movement and in recognition of the trailblazing impact of the LGBTQ+ community at the local level, at the state level, and at the national level. As a village board, you may ask why a proclamation for Pride Month might be needed and what impact it would actually have. And I would respond that a proclamation signals that every single person has a spot in our community and they are affirmed in that place. Who are we if not supportive neighbors, right? As a gay man and lifelong resident of Walton, I have faced the same struggles and discrimination that many LGBTQ+ people have faced and still face today. Those facing hardship and discrimination look to leaders and public figures such as yourselves to take action. When we as a community call upon our networks and our platforms to protect and uplift individuals who are often pushed to the sidelines, it enhances our quality of life and saves lives. And as I touch on platforms and networks, I would like to thank each and every community member who has turned out tonight in support of proclaiming June 2022 as Pride Month here in the Village of Walton. For those of you that have joined us tonight, we will be taking a picture outside afterwards with a cute little pride flag to show support for our LGBTQ+ community here in Walton. To the Village Board, I would like to sincerely thank you for allowing a public comment portion as part of your meetings. It is good governance when those who lead us in work and business and where we live, it's good governance when we're able to have a direct dialogue with our elected officials. So I thank you. And I strongly encourage you to make a motion tonight to proclaim June 2022 as Pride Month in the Village of Walton, and I strongly encourage you to vote on and pass that proclamation tonight. Again, I would like to thank the Village Board, the Walton community, and queer and allied friends and family for allowing this dialogue to take place. All right, happy Pride Month, everyone. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very much aware of Widows. Thank you for bringing it to our board. As you know, that Pride Month has been around for quite a long time. I think it was President Clinton was the first one, the president, for his 8 years. Then President Obama did it for his 8 years. Then President Trump did it in a tweet, so it's just, that was his way of communicating. And now President Biden also did it, so I'm very well aware of what's going on. Me personally, I have no issues with anything like that. It's something that we should bring up to the board and let them, someone make a motion or...
Actually,
Yeah, go ahead, I'm
I do
sorry.
have draft language for a proclamation. If you guys just want to pass it out amongst yourselves. So you kind of get more of an idea of what exactly the language would look like and what you're kind of going on about. But thank you, I appreciate it next time.
I read the president's proclamation before. I'm just being a switch, I'm sorry.
So just so everyone knows what this says, it says Village of Walton Proclamation. Proclamation declaring June 2022 as Pride Month in the Village of Walton, New York. Whereas the Village of Walton values and respects all individuals and is deeply committed to fostering a welcoming and inclusive community. And whereas the month of June is celebrated and proclaimed throughout the United States as Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, and Queer Pride Month in the commemoration of the 1969 Stonewall Uprising, which sparked a nationwide movement for equality and in recognition of the impact that members of the LGBTQ+ community and allies have had locally, statewide, nationally, and whereas the Village of Walton joins villages, towns, cities, states, and the federal government in recognizing the resilience and determination of the many individuals who continue working tirelessly to support inclusion in communities where all individuals can live freely and authentically. And whereas the Village of Walton recognizes the work of local advocates and organizations that promote the well-being of the LGBTQ+ community, and whereas the Village of Walton is committed to standing and supporting the LGBTQ+ community and working to ensure that all individuals are welcomed and treated with respect and dignity. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Edward Snow Sr., Village of Walton Mayor, do hereby proclaim June 22 as LGBTQ+ Pride Month in the Village of Walton and encourage all to celebrate the spirit of Pride Month year-round with acts of kindness and inclusion. Dated on this day, this 6th day of June 2022 at the Village of Walton, Delaware County, New York. And then the mayor would sign.
Thank you.
Well, I just want to say how proud of you that I am to come forward and make this request. It's the right thing to do, and it's in my opinion that I would make the motion that we authorize the mayor to sign this proclamation.
And I would enthusiastically second that motion.
Anyone else have any comments on it? Or no. Any vote? All, everybody in favor?
Aye.
There's no discussion. I got to say, though, if I may, this was very well put together. Very nice. It was very... You know, I read a bunch of these in my time here, but this was really, got right to the point and didn't drag on. It just, which is good. You know, a lot of times they just go on and on and on. You know, but this was one page and good, and I'll gladly sign it. And thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Matter of fact, I'll do it now. Okay, it's signed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you mind if we take our leave?
Not at all. No, I mean, I know, because we're gonna be here for a while, so that's good. No, you're more than welcome to it. Thank you for coming. All right. Yeah. Have a good day.
Thank you. Happy
Thank you,
Pride Month.
Village. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you. Take care. Does anyone else care to say anything? Yes, sir.
I have a couple questions for the board.
Okay, and your name and your address?
Mike Campbell, Burton Street. I would like an explanation, a short explanation on how the water bill is calculated. There's two separate charges on there. If somebody could explain that.
There's the usage charge and the capital charge, and Jody can tell you better.
Jody,
There are three charges.
the three
Okay.
charges. Jody, you want
I
to,
just pay it, I briefly read it and pay it. So I know there's a couple different charges.
Okay.
Jody's good at this, she's been doing it for many years.
She can tell
Will
you what
explain
they
it,
are
Jody,
exactly.
please?
There's capital charges for the water and the sewer portion. Those are to repay the debt that we've incurred to keep the systems up and going. The other portion, there's a sewer charge for the usage and a water charge for the usage.
Okay. So would it be fair to say that I get charged for incoming water, and I also get a portion of the incoming water gets calculated and gets charged to be treated?
Correct.
So how come I'm being told this year that this board will not grant the discount if I'm to fill my pool and give you the calculated number? Because that 13,000 gallons will never be treated by the Village of Walton. And just, if I may, 6 years ago I had the pool put in, and all I did was call and let them know the amount of gallons I used, and they gave me the discount off the sewer part. 3 years ago I had to repair the liner. At that point, I had to fill an application out for the board to approve the amount of water that I used, but did not send to the septic system or the sewer treatment plant. This year, I had to replace my liner. I'm being told this board is not approving that.
I think, Rich, you get a reading on it, right? Before and after?
No, they do their own
They
They
thing.
do their own reading.
They do their own reading.
Because it goes through their meter.
Yeah, it was brought up to the board, and I had heard something about it today, I was asking, I don't remember why exactly it was brought up and we voted on it. If someone can tell me why we did
Doesn't it
that.
only seem fair if I use the water but don't give it back to you, that I don't get charged to give it back? I'm not asking for any discount on the
Well,
water
you
that I
have,
use. I
you've
took pictures
done
of my
away
meters.
with the portion for, like, if there's been leaks and things too, because you're not 100% sure what amount, and I think that's kind of where you got away from it.
Again, I'm not talking about topping the pool off because of evaporation all summer long.
Right.
I had to replace it's 13,000 gallons, it's 12,000 and a number. I took pictures every day with the meter, turn it on at night, shut it off when I went to work, so it's over a 3-day time span.
I can't remember if we had to go verify the meter reading. I really don't remember.
I'd asked you earlier, I don't remember.
The only thing I know that we did, yes, if somebody has a leak or something like that, we don't give you credit for that. And we don't fill pools anymore. You don't loan out the hose and the meter, which was a separate meter. It was
Understand?
totally separate.
And
And I don't know what, I can't say as I know right off the top of my
Yeah,
head,
I
if we
can-
changed anything about you couldn't fill a pool. I know you can buy water from us, just plain water, and you're not charged, you're not charged.
Every day.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I know. I'm saying, we sell water separately. It doesn't go through the sewage treatment plant. We do have a program for doing that.
And shame on me for not checking beforehand, but again, 6 years ago, wasn't even a question, how much did you use? 3 years ago, please fill an application out for the board to approve on how many gallons you use. And then this year, well, bam, nothing.
what do you want to do, guys?
Well, the problem is not everybody does the process the same.
So we need to
And-
set up a process that,
And
Excuse
there,
me, I cannot be judged on everybody else.
no, no, I don't,
No, I understand.
we're not saying you.
No, I-
She's not talking to you, she's talking to us.
Yeah. We had no, I don't believe we had any intention of saying you couldn't fill your pool and just have it as pool water. But I don't know exactly what would have changed it, did, so you couldn't get credit for it.
Do we need to have the meter being read then, before and after? Would that, or would you just take it
Typically
to?
what's been done in the past, they've gotten, like, they take the size of the pool, estimated amount of water, then that's it. A couple times we had to go, and I don't remember why, verify the meter reading before and after. Then you got.
I had heard that, I
Between other
wasn't
jobs
sure.
and projects trying to go to these houses, you got, it's not just one pool, you got a bunch of them.
Right, and I did take pictures with my phone because again, 3 years ago and 6 years ago, that's what was required. So I took pictures before, and it's over a 3-day time span, and it's time stamps. To me, it wouldn't matter if I really dumped it on the lawn. I gotta pay for the water usage. I'm just
Well, and I
asking that it's not gonna be treated.
I think sometimes too what happens is you get people who are honest, such as yourself, with the right amount, then you get somebody else who just runs it because they don't want to let people know they have a pool for permit reasons. then it pops up on their water bill. So I think there's just so many different.
The only thing is, if you can measure a pool and you can give us an estimate, you know what it would be, and if it matches basically what's on his meter, I don't see where that's not, because I don't think we never intended to say that if you filled a pool, that those gallons of water would only be charged to water.
So,
So
Can you
if you
check
have
on it
a
and see what?
permit for a pool and you show proof
So
of
what are you gonna request or require?
If Butch can verify that that's approximately the right amount of water,
And how's he supposed to do that?
measures the pool, correct?
Yeah, the size of the pool.
the size of the pool and the depth, you know, you can tell how many gallons you have, right?
Yeah.
You've done that in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't gone and verified the pools, no. Like I said, we've only been to a couple places to verify the meters.
It's something you can do though, the pool? Just the size and depth of the pool?
Yep.
It's just one times the
As
other,
long
right?
as you
You
know how
get-
many, so some people may have to put water in the pool, clean the pool, drain it, put more water back in the pool, so as long as they're honest,
Yeah,
that's the
Yeah, he
thing.
can show you
Within-
the meter readings, you can see if they're correct.
But if, if they're doing it, we don't know they're doing it.
Yeah, no, I understand.
I take ownership of owning a pool. There's a lot of money that goes into it. You know, you drain a lot of it out in the winter, but when I have to drain the whole thing, I look for a little relief. That's all, because I know that's not going to be treated.
So is somebody gonna set up like the policy, the procedures that everybody has to follow so that
we
everybody?
need to have one for everybody, same policy.
I think that if you actually have the meter readings,
Yes, I do. Pictures.
and I don't see any reason, if we had to notify the DPW and have them go check the meters before and after.
I mean.
Or is it just better,
creating a
is it
whole lot
easier just to go
more-
to the pool, look at it and just heighten?
Well, if they, just call the village.
Or make an estimate.
If they know how many gallons or what size pool it is.
You can tell right away, you don't even have to check the meters, right?
Okay.
And I mean, show the water.
Because we're talking
program.
about one right now, right?
Yeah.
But now there'll probably be 30 or 40 more.
Right.
So
And I'm not trying
everybody's
to
gotta be
recreate
done the
anything.
same.
We all gotta do the same way.
Something changed.
Yeah. I don't remember why it was brought up. There was a reason why. I've been asking everybody tonight, no one seems to remember why it was brought up. I'm sure there was a reason, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen one, I don't remember. I
Okay.
usually do.
Like I said,
Would that be all right with you, Butch?
Recreate anything.
We'll have them call and you can go and just look at the pool and just length by width and you know how many gallons, that'd be good enough?
If you give,
That's for everybody.
Yeah.
if you can give Ernest your address and everything, your name, so that he
Yes.
can come up and validate it,
Is that okay?
Absolutely.
that would work.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming up and bringing it up, because we had talked about it earlier before the meeting, and no one seemed to remember why exactly we did it. It had to be a reason, but
I understand the first change, like the willy-nilly was like, hey, I put 20,000 gallons in my pool, and you
Right.
guys kind of waved the wand. And then when we had to apply to the board, I figured there was some things in place saying, okay, what's the address? He's gonna go check somebody, he's gonna
Right.
check it and verify, but then this year I was told,
I'm sure whatever the reason is, it's gonna come up again now, and we're gonna remember, oh yeah, that's why we did it. But if we have a policy for everybody, it's the same, then I think that's okay. Is that all right with the board? Huh?
Do we need a motion for that?
Yes, please?
Yes.
I'll make
So
a motion.
a motion to forgive the sewer portion of filling pools with prior notice to the village and.
DPW
check off
will
with
go
the
and take a look at it.
Check off with the DPW.
Right.
And you may want to do something too, because you may run into an issue with people with yard sprinklers. I mean,
There's no way to measure that.
No, we're not gonna do yard sprinklers.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying, that's what people are gonna.
No, this is gonna be just for pool. This is just for pools.
Right.
Forget about yard sprinklers. I need a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay?
thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna join you. Yep, appreciate it.
Anyone else care to, guess not, I guess they're all, okay. Number 2, the abstracts. Payment of the invoices, need a motion for that?
Move to pay the abstracts.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. DPW, Butch?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening.
Everybody got the report?
Yes.
Any questions or concerns?
You ever gonna get caught up on the picking up the brush?
It's starting to slowly, yeah.
That new machine really helped out, huh?
Yes, it got to work out pretty good. Of course, the last storm, we had a little bit more brush down.
Yeah.
You guys catch Linda brush lined up at the park over by my house.
Oh, yeah, yep. Yeah, hopefully we got that taken care of. Nothing new, this shop.
Coble skill's all done, you know?
What's that?
Coble skill's all done?
Yep, we just gotta go up there, we gotta replace the curbing that's been removed to do the basins and then put coal patch in, or binder in, then they'll blacktop it later this fall or something. Okay. Get ready for that, but yeah, they're all done, that went very, very well, actually. Shop is moving along pretty good. It actually got knocked down today, most of it.
For sure, storage.
Yes, it's got a lot of nice light in that bay now. And the only thing I have to discuss, I wanted permission for Keegan Higley and Matt Meyer to go to the Sydney Water Conference this Thursday, actually, which gives them about 5 hours toward their water license renewal.
Make the motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And dismantling the shop, we have some surplus items like all the overhead doors. We got 2 lawnmowers replaced at the wastewater treatment plant, a water heater that's in the old shop, and some other little stuff. I'd like permission to put those on Auctions International.
What about your tractor? Aren't you guys supposed to be getting a new tractor?
So, yeah, we'll discuss that tomorrow.
No, I didn't know if you wanted to put that on the list for when you were ready.
Yeah, I don't know. We
Okay.
gotta get some
Okay.
numbers.
Okay, do we need a motion for that?
Make,
Second?
What do we motion?
You can
sell the old stuff.
Put the old stuff on the website.
surplus.
Surplus.
And
All,
So Dick said yes, made the motion. Who seconded?
I guess I jumped in pretty quick.
yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And the last thing, our second mower for the parks, looking to hire Daniel Burrows. We actually met with him last week. I think he'll work out pretty good. And he can actually start on June 15th, if we can hire him.
Make that motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I was gonna bring him up in my,
And I believe that is all I got. Any other questions?
Thank you, sir. Nope, we're good.
Motion and second for the hire? Okay, you have it, I didn't,
Eric
it's going faster
seconded.
than I am for
Oh,
some
okay.
reason.
Josh,
Good evening.
good evening.
good evening.
Good evening.
Sorry I haven't been here the last 2 months, been in training. I emailed everyone the report. 7 building permits, 21 field inspections, 11 fire safety inspections, issued 7 certificates, complaints 2, there was actually more than that, but 2 legitimate ones. Notice of violations 1, CO searches 5, and 20 lawn letters. I had 50% compliance with mowing their lawns, and 10 were
I
contracted
don't
out.
know why that became such a hot topic this year. It never ever is.
All of a sudden, it just blew up like crazy.
Well,
So
Yeah.
when I was on vacation, I was trying to get a contractor to mow, and then in the beginning, I didn't have anyone because our original contractor didn't really want to do it because of the cost of
And I think it
everything.
surprised a lot of people, because then we had a lot of rain, then all of a sudden had those 2
Yeah.
heat a day, and the grass shot up like 6
Yeah, it
inches.
just was. And it
just-
was right before Memorial
Yeah.
Day, so maybe
Yep.
that was it.
Yep. So other than that, that was the last month. Does anybody have any questions with anything? So,
No, appreciate all the hustle.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no,
Thanks for
things-
coming back from vacation.
Oh, thanks. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I didn't want to.
How tall is the grass before they get the letter? I couldn't remember.
So New York State code is 10 inches and village code is 8 inches.
8,
okay.
I kind of go when it's in between.
I couldn't
I'd give them
remember.
benefit of doubt, but we do
I wasn't
have
sure if it was
repeat.
6 or 8, I thought it was 8, you know.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. So other than
Good.
that, anything else?
Gonna have to get
No.
the baler out if you get to.
Right. And that's another thing is people were complaining about that. So what I did was I revamped the letter because last year I was sending letters every single time somebody was out of compliance with it. So this year it's a one-time courtesy letter and I stated that. So I'm not waiting. So once they get to that point, just call a contractor and come in. They're the same repeat offenders though, so, okay?
Thanks, John.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Shane? Jason? Brian? John?
Good evening.
Well, hello, Lily.
Howdy. Nope, we have no money. No, go ahead.
Get the report?
Yes.
This one looks a little better to me than the last couple have.
Yes, this one is better. Things have straightened up nicely, for the most part. Intermittent things instead of constant, continual things. So. That's nice.
Still green though, right?
Yes, periodically, but not as bad.
Okay.
But we're not panicking, right? We know what we're doing. They don't know what they're doing up the road, but
What causes effluent ammonia? See that one violation here, permit violations.
During from May to October, we have an ammonia limit, and it's harder to process when the temperature's colder. So, and we were getting a lot of leachate, which was very high in ammonia.
Okay.
So now we're fine.
And keep in mind, they're cleaning
The leachate tank
holding tank, so the strength
was double.
quite higher than it typically is. It's because they were doing maintenance up at the landfill, so.
Well, like Telus is in agreement that you know what's causing the problem? Or are they still saying?
We're gonna go
Not us.
we're gonna go to executive session and talk about that afterwards.
And we had a couple of purchases, if you guys have seen those. One for BDP to put wipers on the screw press. They are gonna upgrade the screw press chute, and they thought to be fair to get the machine to run more optimal, that the wipers needed to be changed as well.
And that's the cost of $37,23.44.
Yes, and that's 80% village and 20% DEP.
I make a motion to make that purchase.
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And we purchased 2 lawnmowers for the wastewater plant that were budgeted for, and the cost of both lawnmowers was $8,868.29, and that is a 50-50 split between the village and the DEP.
We've already purchased it,
Yes.
so do we need a motion for that? I guess to pay for it?
It's okay in the budget, right?
Yep.
Yep, we gotta make motion, yep.
Budgeted for, I'll motion for that.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
And we're looking to purchase a new pH meter. Our current one is getting old, and to verify that we are within our limits. And that's 100% DEP cost, and we're using it down in the CPUD building.
Sure, that's the cheapest thing.
Yeah, $1,600.
Give us a couple months. We
Yeah.
Second, that's Dick baby.
You had a motion in a second, you said?
Yeah,
Okay.
motion second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
The only thing to add on purchases is you're aware of it, we keep getting letters from our chemical suppliers, doesn't matter who, everything's going up. Trucking is crazy, surcharges on metal, because Allen or PAC uses aluminum, so the cost of all that, so it's almost monthly, they're sending out a thing just saying, we're not sure how high, but this is what's happening.
Well, you heard today, I was,
Can't lock it, they can't lock us in a price at all.
yeah, I was watching the news today, they were talking about the coal is down worse than it's been in 50 years, and they're saying that the electricity is probably gonna go up to 150 to 200% higher than what it is right now.
Awesome.
So that's gonna really kill us down there.
Yeah, exactly.
Do any of them want to open the chemical plant right here in Walton? Can you recruit them and then get us a discount?
So we can do.
Work on that, will you, John?
Yeah.
Because if anybody can, we can.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow, good thing I got my boots on, getting deep. Okay,
And we had our backflows preventers tested, and that's a yearly thing, and everything was fine with those. And we had an inspection on 5/12 for the New York City DEP, and he was happy with how things were over there.
that's good.
Is that Dennis? Is that Dennis?
No, it's Paul.
Other than that, that's all we have.
Well, that's a big relief.
Yeah. Some things are good, that's good.
Good thing they showed up when they showed up, though,
Yeah,
It's good until we have
instead of April.
yeah.
Yes.
compliance, so they don't.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care. Bill? Hi, Bill.
Sorry I got this out later in the afternoon today. No big asks. Following up on a couple of wastewater items. I&I study, the funding was awarded, we sent all the paperwork in, and we're waiting on the state to send us the money essentially, so.
Do you have any idea, I mean, are they gonna wait till the winter and we can't do it again? I mean,
Well, at this point, we are probably better off doing it in the fall after we lose the leaves and the groundwater comes back up, because the best times to do it are, March, April, and then October, November, because that's when the trees aren't sucking up quite as much water, so.
okay.
Right now, we're waiting on the state, so when they move, we'll move. We have talked for a number of months about overall condition and needs assessment, wastewater treatment plant evaluation. We looked at that kind of a few different ways, trying to find funding to support ongoing maintenance and repairs and upkeep at the wastewater treatment plant. We all know it was put in originally in the 70s. It's been modified a few times as different regulations have come through.
Got a question, why, because I know everybody's been talking about it. When this plant was built in the 70s, it was built specifically a certain size to accommodate craft at that time, correct? Was it built with craft in mind? Because this wasn't built, I mean, because we got a big plant, it had to been built with craft in mind at that time, right? I mean, do you have any idea about that?
Craft was the operation at the time because we had the trickling filters back then.
Yeah.
So I'm sure.
You get my point that I'm trying to get
The
at.
reason the plant was as large as it is.
Yes, because of
it
craft.
handled the loading and flow of craft.
Right.
Okay. Okay, I just wanted to get that out. Okay, I'm sorry. Go
Does
ahead.
anybody want to buy it? Like DEP maybe?
I mean, if you had, that's probably by far the most valuable piece of property in the village. If you had to replace that facility, well over $50 million.
So if anybody wanted to have a wastewater plant, they need at least $50 million to do it. That's good.
For that,
We heard
like John
19
said,
million,
What's it
but,
assessed at?
Well,
Nowhere near.
yeah, okay.
but I don't know, not to get into that, but, we've applied a few different routes to try to get funding to do things. So far, largely that hasn't come through with the CDBG applications that were put in last year. There is an opportunity with the funding that was approved last fall at the federal level. The infrastructure bill that was passed, X trillion dollars, a piece of that is for water and sewer. The regulations are being written for that, kind of on a day-by-day basis, how they're going to implement those funds. But their EFC is soliciting for projects right now that they could put money towards that program. So the Walton facility, it seems like it would make sense to at least get on the list.
Do you have to submit something to them, right?
Yeah, they have a intended use plan, which is kind of like their budget for
And when do you have to have that done?
June 17th.
Very
You
soon.
gotta have done.
Well, this
have something-
this is the report that was done for the application we put in last year to do a $1 million project to try to get full grant funds. We applied twice, we didn't check enough boxes, we're replacing older equipment. Everybody's got older equipment, we weren't selected. There's a much bigger pot of money with the infrastructure bill. Like I said, what's eligible in terms of grant and loan and stuff is kind of a moving target. But
So you could just modify that?
yeah, I mean, we would look to go on what's called the multi-year plan, which is really just a snapshot of what the needs are. at the facility, and if we score well, then we would write a more expansive report to go on the annual list, which is when they would award money.
Is that something you could submit now to get started with?
To go on the multi-year list, it basically position for getting funding next year, but it gets on their radar, kind of thing. You know, we know in taking the, kind of the first step with the CDBG application, some of the items, but this was really just a first phase of a larger project. You know, that larger project probably would be a $10 million project. We have 4 clarifiers over there. 2 of them have been in place since the 1970s, critical to the operation. That's what turned green every day. We need those. They've been running for 50 years.
But we need to get this process started first before we go to phase 2.
Right.
So you're gonna...
Just looking for a go-ahead?
Yes.
And now
I'd make a motion that we...
Get on the list and
Yeah.
get in the queue.
Is there a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
So we're making the motion for you to sign the plan. Is that right?
The listing form to go to
We'll
ERC.
go for that, yeah.
So is that 17th cutoff for, it's all project listings and eligibility for, that's the cutoff?
Yeah, for this round.
For this round, yeah.
They allocated X $100 million for this year. There'll be another X million, you know, the X $1 trillion that was passed in November, that's to be
That'll
spent
be on the
over
next-
like 5 years. So there's an allocation each year. So we would probably, this is to get on, like I said, the multi-year list, to put in a full application probably next year, but this would score us and kind of see where we are in comparison to everybody else in the state.
Because we have
So
that
I
bridge
had
replacement coming
Dick
down.
making the motion
What's that?
and Eric
The
seconded
bridge.
it, but I don't,
All in
yeah,
favor?
Right.
All in favor? All right,
thank you.
all right, yep.
Thank you.
So you're gonna give that to me to sign, something to sign for that, right? Okay.
Yeah, there's a online thing that has to get done.
Yeah, let me know when,
So we'll get with you guys to create all the logins and all that
Yeah.
kind of fun stuff. Yeah, the bridge is mentioned later in the project. There is separate funding through, this is funded through the EPA from an environmental standpoint. Bridge work is funded under federal highway programs for transportation. So if there is funding for the bridge, it would probably come through the FHWA versus the EPA. But there was funding in the $1 trillion fund. Part was water, part was sewer, part was all the things that got defined as infrastructure. So this piece is particular to water and sewer. So we'll get that. The other item we are asking for, so we have repairs in the CBUD building to replace valves. The DEP has approved the funding to replace those valves. We looked at it kind of a few different ways. What we would like to do is to, we put out a bid last month to get term agreements with contractors that do, you know, work in water and wastewater treatment plants, contractors that have successfully completed work at the Walton wastewater treatment plant. We did get quotes from S&H Mechanical of Cincinnatus, Vacry Construction of Binghamton, and Taggart Electric right here out of Franklin. So they gave us rates for their services, so that when we need work, we can call them and it locks their rates in for doing work at the wastewater plant. Over the last few years in particular, there's been a number of times we've had to reach out to, and we normally go through the full bid process and we end up getting, you know, one bid from one of these guys kind of thing. So we went through the bid process, put the ad in the paper. We only got quotes from these guys. So they're term agreements. When we have a given scope project, if we need to replace lights, if we need to replace, in this case, valves, we get a budget from the contractor in accordance with the rates that they provided. And if we have budget available, in this case, the DEP approved their valve replacement is, it's going to be separate from the O&M agreement as a somewhat capital project. So we met with S&H Mechanical twice down there to come up with how we have to bypass everything and kind of structure the job. So they're preparing that budget, you know, kind of in anticipation of proceeding with the initial term agreements.
So we're thinking soon on this?
Yeah, we'll get the valves ordered soon, and then we're at the discretion of getting 16-inch specialty plug valves. So we'll get on the list. But yes, we'd like to do
Do we need to approve anything? Yeah.
Should we make a motion to lock them into the rate for the 1-year term limits?
You want to make that motion?
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Those are my asks. The rest of the stuff, ongoing projects, the water system, we did get the survey in here about a week ago, so we're drawing up the plans for the water main replacement. The Curry well, the additional testing that we talked about last month, that was done. The results are back to the lab, and we hope to have answers shortly, and that'll determine what our next steps are, if we have to do additional development there, or if we can move forward with putting in the larger diameter well, which is the one we want to make the water. I know the bridge you mentioned, I saw the surveyors out there today, so that's good, that's moving forward. And the highway garage project, the village DPW is doing their piece with all the demo, Butch mentioned, and the contractors, ordering all the materials, and some of the parts and pieces are starting to come in, so. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Chief, good timing. Hey, didn't even miss your turn, did he? With all that-
So I think everybody got an email this time?
Yeah, how about that? I was like, wow, look at this.
Making progress, right? Again, the numbers are probably going to be typically skewed from what the norm is, because there's obviously a variance now. We were pretty busy again this month. Had a couple big cases that we're still working on. The one, everybody got any questions or anything, or no? So I completed a background check on a part-time police officer. He works full-time for Colchester, Keith Gavitt. So I'm working with him full-time since, I believe, 2015. Yeah, 2015. And I'm recommending that we hire him as a part-time police officer for the village. So
Yeah, we're short one.
Yeah, I know, we need a motion for that?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Okay.
Effective when?
Today? And I'm still, I received one other applicant for the clerk's position. I'm through one already background check, so I'm gonna go interview that person I just got a couple days ago and go through that and hopefully have a decision here soon to fill that position. Other than that, with some things, if I could call into executive session, that's, yeah, okay.
You'll be here, right?
Okay, yeah, I planned on it, so
All right, we'll go in executive.
that's really all I have for this month.
Okay,
All right?
thank you, Chief.
All right, thank you.
Okay, number 6, the duck race. The Cornell Extension is requested to have it, duck race on Saturday, July 23rd.
Are you skipping anything?
What am I skipping?
Trustee.
Oh, that's true, excuse me, I'm trying to get through this because I want to go in executive session. Sorry about that. All right, we'll start with the trustees, we'll start with you, Nate. Sorry about
Sir.
that. Okay.
Sandy Sheridan is going to come tonight to talk about the ongoing plans for the green room project in the theater. She couldn't make it, she's not feeling well, so we're going to do that at a further meeting, but that's not happening terribly fast, so there's no pressing issue there. In the theater, completed work, all aisle bulbs have now been replaced with LEDs. The control box that controls the lights in the house from the console can now also dim the LED aisle lights, so that's pretty cool. A couple of LED lights in the balcony were fixed. There are ongoing talks about working on a sprinkler system. Again, we haven't even, they're just talking about it. That's all it is thus far. Nothing's been approved, nothing's been purchased.
Well, they of course, they obviously know they have to come before the board before anything like that, okay.
They're just talking about it.
Okay.
Figured it out. The piano in the Andrea Paternoster room was recently tuned, so that's nice. And we just had Top Gun, that was awesome at the theater, right? Next couple of weeks, we're gonna have June 10th through 22, Jurassic World. That'll be fun. There aren't any concerts planned this month at the theater, but we do have a Classic Flicks Cruise-In coming up on June 16th. The movie will start at 7 p.m. The movie is Bullet, starring Steve McQueen from 1968. And they're encouraging everyone to drive your classic car into the theater, and anybody who brings a classic car will get free admission to the movie.
To the parking lot, right?
Well, on the street. If you roll up with a classic car, you're going to get a free movie ticket. So we're going to have a classic car cruise in right over here.
There you go.
And free tickets to Bullet on June 16th at 7 p.m. if you bring your classic car. Moving on to the pool and the parks. 'Tis the season. The pool and the parks are getting ready to really ramp up for the summer. Tentative opening day for the pool, tentative, we hope, is June 24th. That is the Friday before graduation. And we have a few lifeguards that we are hoping to hire. If any of these names are names that I have previously stated in previous meetings, I apologize. For weekend supervisor, we have Mary Frainer at $13.20 an hour, starting June 24th. Lifeguards, all at $13.20 an hour, starting June 24th, are Soraya Vesterfelt, Emma Harvey, and Makara McGibbon. And for the basketball, the summer basketball program at $13.20 an hour, who would start on June 26th, is Anthony Mirabal. And we already mentioned Zaniel Burrows for mowing, so we don't need a motion for him. And I would like to please make a motion to hire these lifeguards and Mary Frainer and Anthony Mirabal for those rates and starting dates.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you very much. I think we already hired Jackie Armstrong officially for the arts and crafts.
Yes.
So arts and crafts and basketball are going to start on June. Gotta get my notes here. Too many notes. June 26th. We'll have basketball and arts and crafts. Those will be from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Monday through Thursday, running for 6 weeks. And we're going to have pickleball lines at the tennis courts. The tennis courts will be open. They've been repaired. They're not 100% perfect, but they're playable. And we're going to have pickleball lines, so anybody who wants to play pickleball, come on down. That's going to be exciting. We have a volleyball court next to the pool that's been dug out and is ready to go. So if you want to play some beach-style volleyball next to the pool, come on down. We're encouraging people to put some leagues together and get out and play and get that volleyball court very busy. The DPW has rototilled under the swings on the playground. They're doing a nice job getting the park ready to go. And please, 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 public service announcement. Please leash your dogs in the park. We have a few people who come down to the park with their dogs off leash, and they cause all kinds of problems. They run up to people, they run up to other people's legally leashed dogs. We do have a leash law in the Village of Walton. Please leash your dogs at the park. We want to be able to continue to allow dogs at the park. We don't want this to become an issue. So please, 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 I can't stress enough, when you bring your dog to the park, leash your dog and clean up after it. Thank you so very much. But we are absolutely encouraging people to get out this summer to the pool and the park, and tell the kids, get off your phones and get to the park. And I think that's what I've got for you, sir.
Thank you. Eric, you have anything?
Nothing to report tonight.
Dick, anything for you?
No, we'll get an executive session. We have been dealing with the police department and the contracts. And I think Jody gave you all a hand on
Yep.
that.
And we'll talk about an executive
We'll
session.
talk about that.
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay, for me, I have a couple things. I'll try to make it quick. First thing I want to mention, I was informed that one of our former deputy clerks that worked for the village for around 10 years, Mary Tyler, she passed away last Thursday, so I want to send condolences to their family. Now there's some pleasant news. The bowling alley, I spoke to Mr. Doyle today. He's been in touch with NICEC. Probably within the next week and a half, they'll be down to get things started with the NICEC. He's looking at the water pipes too. He's going to get a hold of Butch. He's got 50 or 100 gallons of paint ready to start. He's gonna start painting this weekend. He's got like a reddish burgundy color he wants the bowling alley to stop popping. He says everything's online to go good. He's gonna do whatever, if one takes him longer, he'll work on something else, but he's all excited, and so that's good. It's good news. I spoke to Steve Nicolai. He bought the old CNC feed at 39 Howell. He will be opening up this place the week after Fair Week. It's gonna be called The Depot. That'll be the official name of it. And it's gonna be a martial arts studio. They're gonna have different types of martial arts in the studio for the community. He said he's 95% done. They're just finishing some cabinets and things like that. So I was excited about that. That's good. I spoke to Tom's Tire Barn. Josh had found out for me about that. That's gonna be coming down in July. That'll be down. And then the process will start for the other company after that's down. So that's another good thing. So things are moving pretty good. That's all I have.
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry, can I add one more thing? I neglected something. Lifeguarding classes and water safety instructor classes. We are hoping to have a lifeguarding class. We're not sure. It's going to depend upon interest and the availability of an instructor. However, water safety class, we will be having in the beginning of July. The date's not set yet. Depending on how many applicants we have for that class, and you do not have to have a previous lifeguarding class to take the water safety instructor class. Depending on how many kids want to do it, it will be free to Walton students due to the Candy Russell Laps for Lifeguards event that was held last year, the fundraiser, and they're going to do that again this year and every year thereon. So as to provide either free or very cheap water safety instructor classes. To teach swimming lessons, you have to have a water safety instructor course. We will be having swimming lessons in July. We're not sure how big the scope is of the swimming lessons or whether we'll have one session or two. But in July, there will be swimming lessons and there will be more information coming. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome. Okay, we'll go on to number 6, the duck race. Regarding the 18th annual 4-H duck race. Cornell Corporation Extension of Delaware County would like to request your permission to hold the 18th annual 4-H duck race on Saturday, July 23rd, 2022 in the Village of Walton. We plan to hold a 4-H duck race in Third Brook. Ducks will float from the Ogden Street Bridge to the formerly Robinson Auction Barn. Volunteers will be in the brook to retrieve any stuck ducks along the way and at the race conclusion. A certificate of insurance is provided from our insurance provider, P.W. Wood Agency, the insurance carrier for all the cooperative extensions. Volunteers from throughout the county and the 4-H clubs will be selling adopted ducks to raise money to help support the Delaware County 4-H program. Please contact us with any concerns. Thank you for consideration. Emily Rhodes, Extension 4-H Program Supervisor. So I have the insurance and the letter. Need a motion?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Next thing, NICOM Fall Training School, September 12th to the 16th.
I'm asking permission for Samantha and I to both attend in September. Joanne will cover the office from 9 to 1.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I think it's very important that you guys go and get all the latest updates, because things change so much. You need to be informed. Next is number 8, Chalk Day, June 15th. Dear Ed, I can't believe it's time of year already, but it's time for the end of year activities. We are requesting that the road in front of Townsend School be closed on Wednesday, June 15. Rain date will be Thursday, June 16th, so that we can hold our annual Chalk Art Day. We would appreciate it if the stanchions, oh, I couldn't make that, to close the road, could be there, hold the barriers, I like to say barriers. 7:30 in the morning, so that Mrs. Couturier can start preparing the road for the children to work on. Also, our annual town school picnic will be on Friday, June 3rd. We would like to borrow some picnic tables again to use on the playground during the picnic. Can the tables be delivered to the Townsend's basketball court just off the parking lot behind Townsend? Please let me know if you need any additional information, and thank you for your advice, Lillian Hector, Principal. Need a motion for that?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Butch, you explain?
Providing Mr. Smith.
Provided Butch says okay.
School doesn't have anybody that can move the picnic tables or put up the
Wondered that myself.
I mean, why can't they do it themselves?
Yeah, I don't, they have,
Which we've already brought them there, we should just gotta go back and get them, because that was last Friday.
oh, you already brought them in.
Yeah, we've done it in the past. I'm not
I
sure
know.
why.
I was just curious as to why.
I will mention that. I have a meeting in
Why they
sc-
don't do
I-
it themselves. I mean, they could borrow the equipment,
Yeah. I will mention it, we have a meeting this Friday, I will mention it to them for next year.
but I suppose since it's already done, we ought to approve it.
Yeah. We had a.
We already did.
We already did, you did, okay. Number 9, the Town of Walton. Dear Mayor Snow and the village trustees, the Town of Walton will be celebrating its 225th anniversary on July 23rd, 2022. We would like to include and incorporate the village and businesses within the day celebration. We have also planned an all-day event starting with a tractor 4-H parade. Vendors will be set up at Veterans Plaza, old-timers children games at the Village Green space, music on the plaza, and an old-fashioned Keystone Cop and Kangaroo Court that we would like all elected officials to partake in. We are requesting permission to hold the parade starting at 10 a.m. The parade will start at the Behavioral Health Facility with tractors and merge with 4-H groups from the bus garage, continuing down Delaware Street, turn onto Bridge, turn onto Water Street, come down between the Veterans Plaza and Smoke Shop, and back up Delaware Street to the Behavioral Health Facility. We anticipate the loop to take approximately 20 minutes. We are seeking help from the Fire Department, Walton Police, Sheriff's Department, and Traffic Control, for Traffic Control. This is still the early stages of planning, and input will be most appreciated. Thank you for your consideration. Look forward to your participation. The next committee meeting will be held on June 9th at 6 p.m. at the Walton Town Hall. Sincerely, 225th Anniversary Committee. We need to get the permission thing from them, right?
I need the permission to file for this parade.
Yep.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried. Okay. Next thing, we're getting there. RSS lease. This is regarding the Walton Theater lease renewal. Dear Mayor Snow, I am writing to advise the Village of Walton that RSS desires to renew its current lease dated July 1, 2006 with the village for the theater. For the current lease expires June 30th, 2022. We have greatly enjoyed our tenancy in the theater. We are grateful that the theater represents not only a highly valued entertainment venue to the community, but also provides a meaningful employment for our clients. We desire to continue the lease terms as they are, except to adjust for rent. The agreed upon renewal lease for 3 years beginning in 2021. The agreement was that the rent be adjusted annually at 2%. This would be year 2, and the monthly rent would be $1,036.68. Please contact me for any specific renewal lease terms. I'm available. Thank you, Jane Francisco.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Who seconded?
Eric.
Eric. Okay. The next thing, I got a letter here from Joan. Hello. Dear Mayor Snow and the Village Board, I received a large bill for snow shoveling at 22 Gardner Place. As you know, I have owned this property for several years and do my best to keep the sidewalk shoveled, as well as the sidewalk alongside the village parking lot. As a good neighbor and citizen of Walton, please note that I have shoveled the village sidewalk and to move the theater tree many times past winter and salted it at times.
The instance.
This instance,
It's hard to read.
I know, that it was shoveled in front of my property occurred when I was substitute teaching at Walton Central School. I stopped after school to shovel and it was already done. I do have a few tenants with disabilities that work at the Walton Theater at times. They shovel. We all work together to have a clear sidewalk to the theater. My intent of this letter is to seek your opinion if you desire for me to pay you shoveling snow, but now that you have the information needed about our winter snowstorms, unless I am called in the substitute teachers or if the roads are closed or I am sick, I will keep up with the shoveling. I have noted that on the same day after my work at school, that there were several homes in Walton whose sidewalks were not shoveled. Respectfully submitted, Joan Van Loan.
It's kind of too late, it's already been.
Yeah, it's already been,
I Levied to
know
it,
exactly what
yeah.
date that was, and that was terrible with ice. You've seen it go.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
absolutely terrible.
so it's more of an information thing for us.
Yeah.
We walked
I
on
mean,
it.
if she asked,
It was terrible.
if she asked, if she was comparing to other sidewalks, another thing I could say in reply is, yeah, and they got
they got
that.
They got hit too, they all got it. Yeah, they all got it too.
Yep.
Okay, going on to the next thing, like Christy Newman Community Lawn Sale to the Village of Walton Board. This letter has asked the Walton Village Board to waive the yard sale permit registration process for the weekend of July 4th to include Friday, July 1 through Sunday, July 3rd. Many people look forward to the village-wide yard sale weekend. People like to host their own sales, and community members and visitors from far and wide like to spend the day shopping at the sales. In past years, the Walton Chamber has fully sponsored this event, but for the last 4 years, it has been organized by Tara Vitti, Patty Wood, and myself. Both Patty and Tara are on the board of the Walton Chamber, but the Chamber no longer sponsors this event, although they do fully support it. Tara and Patty have always helped promote this event through the Walton Chamber Facebook page. This event is not sponsored by any specific organization, but we know that it is an event that should continue. We have taken it on ourselves to keep the event going. If any group or organization would like to sponsor the event and turn it into a fundraiser, please reach out to Tara Vitti, Patty Wood, or myself sincerely, Christine Newman. So need
Motion
a
to waive.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
We said those dates are July 1 through 3?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess who the sponsor then?
Excuse me.
I have one other thing, quick. The insurance bills came in. I'm just requesting permission to be able to go and pay those before July, because they'd be late by July.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that's it. We just need to go into executive session now to talk about Lactalis and the contract, and also the police contract.
Motion, we go into executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Good night, guys.
Good night. Good night. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
everybody.